Rick, I can just go?
Yep.
Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'd just like to give you a piece of this 27-year-old's mind. This morning as I got up and was wondering what to wear, a certain t-shirt came to mind, and it was the Grand Canyon t-shirt. And then the Grand Canyon of debt that we're going to be handed down by our grandparents and our parents who think that we ought to pay for somebody else's mortgage, we ought to pay for somebody else's right to live in a home they can't afford.
How about this, President and new administration? Why don't you put up a website to have people vote on the internet as a referendum to see if we really want to subsidize the losers' mortgages, or would we like to at least buy cars and buy houses in foreclosure and give them to people that might have a chance to actually prosper down the road and reward people that could carry the water instead of drink the water?
Hey, Rick,
that's a novel idea.
Hey, Rick, did you?
What? Who thought of that?
They're like putty in your hands. Did you hear?
No, they're not, Joe. They're not like putty in our hands. This is America. How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage that has an extra bathroom and can't pay their bills? Raise their hand. How about we all? President Obama, are you listening? I never thought it would have turned out this way. It certainly has gotten a life of its own. But I'll tell you what, Carl. What? If we're helping bring more of a discussion to these issues, I think it's key, because just because we hear things that hundreds of economists think this is the only way to go, hundreds of economists didn't warn us before we hit dead man's curve, okay? So I think we have to put this in the context of we're in the unknown, but we're doing it with many zeros, trillions of dollars.
Understood. I understand. And your point is well taken, that it's an executive decision, meaning there is a lack of debate, and you're trying to remedy that to some degree.
How do we differentiate the innocent versus the not so innocent? To me, that's impossible. So I have an answer. Give it to all Americans. Write a check to everybody. Don't try to pick winners and losers.
You got to pay for somebody else's business failure? Let me tell you something. I'm a small businessman. Where exactly is my bailout? Where exactly is my transportation assistance because I can't drive? Where exactly is the money to fund the flood protection we need in this county of Skagit? We're having trouble just finding money for a study, for crying out loud, and yet we as the people, we want to bail out General Motors. I sure see a whole lot of GM vehicles out there, don't you? I see an Olds, I see two Chevys, I see another Chevy over there, and I don't know about you, but this is kind of nuts, kind of silly, the idea that we as taxpayers ought to bail out a private company that's doing so well, we drive so many of their cars. I also find it kind of absurd that we're bailing out the guys at Wall Street who been down a leverage of a loan 27, 30 times. I mean, come on, we in real life, the average people of College Way, Mount Vernon, Washington can't do that. But while we're on the subject of Mount Vernon, I doubt seriously that George Washington would have approved of America giving all this power to one man in the White House. I don't care, but I think he would have said it didn't matter if the guy was black, it didn't matter if the other guy, a white guy, was a gorgeous governor from Alaska. One, he would have said, don't give the government all the power, or something to that effect. This is just absolutely unnerving what's going on here. Yesterday, our House of Representatives decided, in all their infinite wisdom or what have you, that, oh gosh, we're going to pass this big 1,000-page bill. We're not even going to spend the weekend reading it on our porch. We're just going to pass the bill and the heck with what anybody else thinks. Oh my goodness, I mean, this is just it's silly. This is not the way we should do things as a country. We're the smart country. We're the one with Harvard, not China. We're the one that invented the powered airplane, all by private investment of a couple bicycle repairmen in Ohio, and yet we think government ought to decide what our cars ought to be or what kind of fuel we use. I trust the American people.
Government support of alternative energy sources.
I don't trust politicians to choose the right new energy sources. I believe in the free market. You know, the government didn't switch us from whale oil to the oil found under the ground. The market did that. The government didn't make the Prius the hottest selling car in Hollywood. That was the market that did that. You know, in LA now, the coolest thing you can drive is a hybrid. Well, if the free market can do that in the most car-crazed culture on earth, then I trust the free market to solve our energy problems. You know, the market has the power to change the way we think, to change what we want. The government can't do that. That's why the market has always been a better problem solver than the government, and it always will be.
And I'll conclude with this spot. I can't thank enough the people standing out in the hot sun today as I was working on my father's website, www.skagitryverhistory.com, as we prepared the story to allow another one at that great American bailout called the National Flood Search Program, because apparently the idea of a great society was there was a flood search program that bailed out the losers in Hamilton. They could claim repairs they didn't make and no one would check. And so, we have to pay a bailout and we're not going to work the problem. You know, pardon me for the, it's a bad habit, but we put people on the moon, we powered aviation. We as a country have done some great things and we will continue to do those great things. And I thank you for putting up with the likes of me today. Thank you so much.